congratulations. Pregnant with twins. How has it been going?
There's so many things about pregnancy I was not expecting, and it's kind of scary. I just have anxiety all the time that something's going to go wrong, but I love being pregnant. I love like feeling my belly grow, and every time we see the babies, it just feels surreal that it's like
Yeah,
happening.
totally. What would you say was the biggest surprise thus far, and what has been kind of the scariest thing thus far for you?
The biggest surprise has been feeling the movement.
Yeah.
That has been just because you hear about it and you hear people talk about it, and Jesse's talked about it, but when it's actually happening to you, it's just like the most surreal feeling. And I think the scariest part is there is so many things that can go wrong and so many things that you have to be aware of that I had no idea. I was like, okay, you just get pregnant and then you kind of first trimester is the scary zone, and when you're out of that, you're like in the clear. But with twins and with IVF, the scary zone is like until you're like 35 weeks. Until then, there's still so many things that can go wrong. So it's just been a lot, and it's scary. But I have to just remember to be positive and that everything's going to be okay.
Like you said, you have to remain kind of stress free and things like that. So how are you trying to keep yourself, less stressed?
I think looking at baby clothes makes me feel very content and happy and very excited. And then just thinking about them actually being here. That's what I've been focused on. Just thinking about when they're actually here, that the delivery is going to go smooth and they're going to arrive safely. That's just what I've been focusing on, is like the future and then all the cute baby clothes. Because baby clothes are so cute. Like every time I see a picture of baby clothes, I die on the inside, and I just can't wait. Because we get to dress two babies. So we get to like put them in little matching outfits, and like there's like little teddy bear outfits, and it's just insanely cute.
You have the nursery all set, ready to go?
The house is still probably 4 or 5 months away from being done. So we're hoping that it's done like the month before I give birth, and then
Yeah.
hopefully we can get the nursery ready.
Right. I mean, they'll be sleeping in your room anyway.
Yeah.
So you have some time.
Yeah, they're going to be with us anyway, so.
Yeah, I'm sure you get this question. Any weird cravings so far?
The first trimester, all I could eat was fruit and bread and cereal. I was craving like Honey Nut Cheerios and Reese's Pieces Puffs. I was craving it, and I haven't had those since I was 7. So that was like the weird craving, was like random cereal. But now I'm kind of getting back to my regular diet, but I'm definitely big into sweets. Like I'm always wanting something sweet.
That's how I was when I was pregnant too. It was like, give me all the sweets that you possibly can imagine.
Yeah. Like if I think of a dessert, I'm like, I need it right now.
I think you said that that you have been having a really tough time sleeping during this pregnancy as well, right?
Yeah. I think
Why do you think that is?
I have a hard time sleeping in general, and usually I dose up on melatonin or Benadryl or things I probably shouldn't be taking to sleep. And being pregnant, you can't take anything. So I'm up the entire night staring at the wall, like really trying to sleep. And it's been hard, and it's hard to get comfortable. And I'm only 15 weeks, so I can't even imagine how much harder it's going to get. But it's just my doctor's trying to like teach me to do like acupuncture before bed or like meditate. And I'm like, I literally can't. There's so much going on in my brain that I just can't turn it off. And so it's been really hard. And my dog snores all night too. So that like keeps me awake, and our cats are meowing, and I'm just sitting there like, why is this happening to me? But hopefully it'll get better once I get a little bigger, and maybe I'll get more tired.
Get as much sleep as you possibly can now, because you're never going to sleep again.
People actually have been telling me that they sleep better with the babies here.
Really? Interesting.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Okay.
Who knows?
Maybe some people do, but you know what? Some people have such great babies that like right from the beginning they sleep through the night, and I'm like, please give me all of your secrets. I hope for you that happens for you. Because, what a blessing. I know, like, speaking of blessings, this has obviously been a long road to get pregnant. You have gone through IVF. You've been very open and honest about it, about your journey as a queer couple. I mean, what do you think the biggest misconception about that is, going through this IVF journey together as a queer couple?
I think a lot of people automatically go to saying that we're just adoptive parents and the baby needs their biological parents, and that I'm not actually a mother and Jesse's not actually a father if we're not biologically related to the child. And I think that's the comment that we get the most. That's really just people just are so ignorant and don't realize like queer couples exist and they have existed, and adoptive families exist. My dad was adopted and he very much considers his adoptive parents his parents. So I think people just love to nitpick and find anything to be rude about. But the worst comment I've gotten was like, people were basically saying that if I use Jesse's eggs, then I'm just a surrogate. I'm not even the mother. And like, why would I give birth to a baby that's not even mine? And I'm like, what are you? People just don't understand that this is so normal. And just because we're public about it doesn't mean that there's not like millions of other couples that are just like us doing the exact same thing. And even couples that are infertile, there's many men that can't produce sperm and there's women that naturally can't produce eggs. So they're straight heterosexual relationships that also have to use a donor, and it's still very much their baby, and those people wouldn't be getting comments that we're getting. It's just because we're queer and people love to like give unwarranted opinions on the relationship.
Yeah, people got a lot to say behind a keyboard. They really do. It's a sad world that we live in. I know that you said, I think that you said before that in the first, like, if you weren't pregnant with twins, that like your first pregnancy, you would use your embryo. The second that you use Jesse's. Do you have one of each? Did you plan on getting pregnant with twins during this IVF cycle?
We knew that we were going to implant 2 embryos this cycle because we knew that there was a higher chance of success with 2 embryos, but we're not disclosing whose embryos because of the comment that just because of what I just explained, the comments that we get about the babies and about the biology, and we feel like it's just unwarranted like hate, I guess, in regards to the egg. So we decided to keep the eggs and the sperm donor's identity for now. We're gonna eventually like explain everything, but we're just getting so much negativity already that we don't want to add in that extra layer of people like being able to be judgmental on whose egg we used.
Definitely, especially with going through pregnancy, you don't need that extra added stress. Like you have enough going on as
there's a lot already.
Yeah, no, totally. I know that you said you had a very specific birth plan. What exactly is that, and what are you hopeful for that perfect birth plan?
My birth plan has changed since like every week it changes. But originally, when I got pregnant, I wanted to give birth vaginally and naturally. That was always my goal. I really wanted to experience birth naturally, and it's just something I've known since I was old enough to even think about this stuff, that's something I wanted to do. But it doesn't look like that's in my cards anymore. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with twins, and there's a lot of things that are kind of not going wrong, but have a really high percentage of going wrong. So it's looking like I'm going to have to get a C-section, unfortunately. But I think it's a little bit less stressful to think about a C-section because it's planned and you have a date. But ideally, I would have loved to give birth vaginally and naturally. But
you know what? But as long as they are born healthy, that's all that
exactly.
matters.
Yeah, healthy mom has healthy babies. That's all I care.
100%. You know, I'm sure maybe some people have this question for you both. Do you plan on letting your children kind of define their own gender in the future?
I think we're definitely going to raise them with the biology that they were born with. So male or female, we're going to use he, him, or she, her pronouns. We're not going to define them as non-binary because that's a gender identity in and of itself. So that would still be like putting a label on them and putting an identity on them. So we're just going to raise them how they were born. And if in the future they decide that they want to switch it up, or they decide that that's not who they are and that's not how they identify, then they're going to be obviously more than welcome to do so. And we're going to be supportive. But yeah, we're going to keep it more gender neutral in like the clothing and everything like that. We're not going to force trucks or force Barbies or force like gender norms on them. We're definitely going to teach them to be like more open and accepting, but definitely going to use like she, her, or he, him, or she, you know what I mean? For that.
Yeah. Is it a surprise? Do you know what you're having yet?
We do know because we knew the sex of all of our embryos. So we know, but we have not announced anything yet. Well, we haven't even told my family, like my parents don't even know. So really? We're having a baby shower at the end of July. So we're going to tell all the family. And then I was thinking about announcing it online as well, but People can be so mean, so we're still deciding on if we're going to share. We probably will, but we're still like debating on how to go about it, I think.
Sure. Yeah. Going through this pregnancy, it seems like, just by talking to you, you're definitely experiencing a lot of online hate. Did it make you want to not be as honest and open as you have been? Have you seen yourself kind of take a step back from what you
Definitely.
to share?
Yeah, I've definitely taken a step back from Instagram and TikTok. I've
Yeah.
been barely posting on either, just because the negativity is so overwhelming. Even on there's such a sweet video that I'll post of just like a montage of our relationship or hearing the baby's heartbeats. It causes war in my comments, and I've just wanted to avoid it. And it stresses me out having to go through things and delete things, and people make assumptions, so I just don't want those assumptions there, so I'll delete it. But it just kind of ruins my day having to like
Cool.
scroll through. So I've been really focusing just on Snapchat, just because the community is smaller, and everyone that I formed relationship and friendships with people on that app, and it's just like a great community of moms and other pregnant people, and it's just been so lovely. And if someone's mean on Snapchat, they just get blocked. But it's like I've maybe got like 2 or 3 mean comments on Snapchat as opposed to like thousands on other social media. So I've just been focusing on like that small community instead of like protecting my peace for sure.
Yeah. Has that been a constant throughout your entire relationship, or did you notice that more so ever since you announced your pregnancy?
I think it's definitely been constant throughout our relationship. The most of the hate was projected onto Jesse because a lot of people are transphobic. So it was mainly that. And then obviously, like when I've done reality shows, I've got hate naturally just from being myself or getting a bad edit or being opinionated on those shows. So that I've dealt with personally on my own for maybe 5 years. But with Jesse, it's more of like hate against him, and then with the babies it's more hate against like their biology, like who's the real parents, like oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, like very opinionated people that are just giving unsolicited advice or telling us that we shouldn't be parents and that what we're doing is like we're going to hell basically. So
I know that you said you had a hospital scare recently, right? Can you tell me a little bit about that? What happened? I know you wrote online too that mama should always know the length of their cervix. So did it have something
yeah,
to do with that?
so
Yeah.
basically I'm doing I was doing injections to maintain the pregnancy to keep it viable, because with IVF your body doesn't naturally produce the hormone progesterone, which is what you need to keep the baby alive. So I was
I
doing injections, and
feel you.
I injected myself in a weird spot, and I felt like my kidneys were falling out. It was the most excruciating pain I've ever been through in my entire life. And then, so we went to the hospital. We were there for 4 hours, and they were really, really mean to us. And I don't know if they were, because this hospital is very like Catholic and Christian, and that's kind of usually the group of people who's kind of the most hateful I get to Jesse. A lot of people are very, very accepting, but that's kind of so we went, and then people were being really rude to us. So we decided to leave and just go home and sleep it off. And then we went to a specialist, and we found out that I have a short cervix. So
Mhm.
a lot of pregnant women can miscarry around 20 weeks with this. So this has kind of been the situation going on. We've probably been to like 4 specialists. We've seen maybe like 10 doctors, because we're really trying to figure out like the best course of action moving forward, because I do not want to miscarry at all. And the thought of potentially there's nothing you could do and your cervix can just open is really scary to me. So we're going to see a specialist again on Monday to like really like get it checked. So I'm going like twice a week to the doctor to get my cervix checked to make sure it's not like opening, and because you
Or
can just open randomly and you'll miscarry. And it usually happens around 20, 21 weeks. So it's really, really scary. And a lot of women have to go on bed rest. A lot of women have no idea that they even should get it checked, and they'll just lose their pregnancies. So it's been really, really scary, but hopefully I don't have to go on bed rest, and hopefully I can just get this small
yeah.
surgical procedure to get it fixed,
Mhm.
and then the babies are safe.
Yes. Well, hopefully, everything will be okay. Luckily, you're seeing all these doctors multiple times a week, and it seems like they have it under control. But yeah, no, that is really scary. Have they suggested bed rest yet, or it hasn't come to that?
I'm not allowed to work out.
Okay.
And I can't
Yeah.
stand, yeah, no working out, which is, it's a bummer because it definitely helps with like the mental aspect of it all. And no standing for longer than 30 to 45 minutes. So it's a bummer. And it kind of like, we were expecting to have all these amazing summer plans and to do as many things as a family as we can. And now it's looking like it's going to be a very chill summer, which is a bummer, but our main goal is to protect the baby. So if I had to be on bed rest right now, I would do it. But I'm not on bed rest yet. But I have a feeling towards like 20, 25 weeks, I will be put on bed rest, which I'm not looking forward to. But again, I just have to focus on like keeping them in there for as long as possible. So that's the goal.
Definitely. I just think this time next year they'll be running around like crazy.
Yeah.
It won't be a chill summer next summer. I promise.
Yeah. I'm going to like miss the bed rest once I'm
You
off.
will. You probably
Yeah.
will. Oh, I just want to sit down and watch catch up on all these TV shows. But
Yeah.
how would you say that Jesse and Arlo have kind of prepared you for motherhood?
Has been amazing. He is literally the most perfect person. He takes care of me like I could never even have imagined. Like he will go above and beyond for every aspect of like I was saying car rides were uncomfortable, so he told me he was going to an appointment. He spent the whole day like specializing his car to make it comfortable for me with like pillows, slippers, snacks, like all these things. Like he goes above and beyond. And I think because he was a parent himself, it just naturally is getting integrated so well. And having Arlo is like I'm a stepmother, but I'm still a mother to them. I have a picture of them. It's like right in front of me.
Yeah.
But it's just been such a great integration, and us even just taking care of our animals. We're just like so ready for this, and I feel like we're just going to be like the best parents, and I just literally cannot wait to like hold them. They're going to be so small and so cute. I cannot wait.
Is there anything that scares you about those first few months of newborn life, especially with twins?
I think I'm just scared of like injuring them or like holding them wrong. Like I told Jesse he's not allowed leaving me for like the first few months. Like I'm like you can't like leave me for a bit. Like I don't want to be like what if I'm just scared because I've never done it and I didn't have like family members with babies really growing up. So I've held a few babies in my life, but I've never really taken care of a baby ever. So I'm terrified and I just want to do a good job, but I know it comes very naturally from what I've heard.
It does. Yeah.
So I think I'm just gonna naturally like mold into it and like know what to do like instinctually. So I'm
It's
excited for those instincts to
like
come.
your instincts automatically kick in, your mama bear mode automatically
Yeah.
kicks in, so you'll be totally fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Where do you stand on wedding planning? I know that you were saying that maybe going to the courthouse before the babies, but now like kind of hearing, everything going on with your health, are you kind of postponing that until after the babies are born, or is that still a priority for you?
Jesse wanted to do a surprise wedding at the baby shower and surprise like our friends and family with like a little mini wedding.
Yeah.
But I never really wanted to be pregnant at the wedding. I want to look hot and I want to look sexy and I want to look like the best version of myself. And pregnant me is not that hot, sexy version that I want. I can't even work out. So we're definitely going to wait till the twins are here. And I think before we start planning for baby number 3, technically, I guess, we're going to plan the wedding. Like, I think once they're like 3 months old and we're settled and we're living in the house, like the house I've been renovating, and there's not really major life things happening and we can like relax, then we're going to move into wedding planning because I want the wedding to be so like special and beautiful and big and amazing, but I want to be able to focus all my attention on it. And right now there's like no way that could happen.
Definitely. I know you said it's very foreign kind of going through pregnancy and seeing all these changes in your body. I know you said the bump has been something to get used to. What else has been something to get used to as your body changes?
I think the exhaustion,
Yeah.
definitely, I'm getting used to. The horrible sleeps, I'm kind of already used to. And it's actually good. I'm not really like, I don't feel, I think because I did the IVF and
Mm.
because I was on so many hormones for so long, the pregnancy was like a relief from all of those hormones. Like I was on edge. I felt like I was going to cry. I was so angry and sad all the time. before the embryo transfer, and then right after the embryo transfer, when my hormones leveled out, I was like, I can breathe. So
Mhm.
other than like the exhaustion and like the health kind of scares and the constant anxiety of if the babies are okay, I feel like fully normal, which is great.
Yeah, you say like the hormones definitely kind of messed with you when you went through IVF.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was really, really hard. It was like probably one of the hardest things I've ever gone through because you're just so confused and it's like it's mentally like you're
Yeah.
kind of in like a really dark place. So
Mhm.
it was great to get out of that.
Sure. No, it's also like a lonely place too. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about that either because like it's so much of it is on you feel like it's on you and it can be definitely like you said mentally draining, physically draining,
Yeah,
emotionally draining.
yeah, exactly.
Mm, definitely. You did mention baby number 3, so you're already talking about more babies in the future.
Yeah, so we know we want the babies to be close in age. We
Okay.
really have to see how the rest of this pregnancy goes because if I have like an incompetent cervix and like a really hard time keeping the babies in there and healthy, we would look into surrogacy. That's like our absolute last resort. So we have to see how this one goes. But ideally, when they're like 1 or 2, we could start thinking about another embryo transfer and having like maybe another double embryo transfer. Who knows?
Really?
Maybe another set of twins.
Would you ever open up your lives to reality TV? Is that something that like you would explore in the future?
Yeah, I think it's something that we're currently exploring. We've always not necessarily like we've always thought that there should be like a queer story or a queer family story told in mainstream media because you don't really see it, and there's a lot of people who aren't accepting of people like me and Jesse, and even though we're so normal, I think having some representation in mainstream media is important. So if it's not me and Jesse, I think it should be someone else because
Mhm.
it's just so important, especially in today's climate. But yeah, I would love to do something in the future with Jesse just to spread awareness and spread like just show that we're normal and that queer people can have families because there are so many queer people in the world and a lot of people live like silently or don't live to be their true selves because they're scared. They don't know that they can have a family. They don't know that they can fall in love. And I think the representation is really important.
And I know you have your swimwear line. I love it. It's beautiful. You have such beautiful suits. If somebody is like trying to find the perfect bikini for their body, what's kind of like your tips that you usually give them?
I try to make all my swimsuits very inclusive for every body type. So when I'm designing one, first I'll try it on and make sure I like it, and then I'll get every friend that I have in my area. I'll send them one, and can you try this on? Send me a video. What would you change? How do you think the cut should be different? So I really try to make it perfect on every body type. So I think it's just finding what works for you, but I really think finding something adjustable, like a lot of my bikinis are adjustable everywhere. So around the shoulders, around the back, around the hips, and around like the coverage. So I really wanted to make it just perfect for everybody. And I think that's like key is finding something that's adjustable, has great fabric, has a good stretch, is eco-friendly. So yeah, that would be my tip.